Hi guys, Elanie Beckett here on Change Creator SA from Oh My Soul Yoga Veda, and I'm continuing our discussion on decluttering our lives, decluttering our space, decluttering our minds, and freeing up some mental space for us to start the healing process, to start our exploring of ourselves. And I'm very grateful for all of you that have joined me over the last couple of days. I've really received some absolutely stunning feedback, and I'm very grateful to have you on this journey with me. So today let's continue with, I think we're on day 7, I've kind of lost count, but alright, let's just carry on with where we left off. And what I want to talk to you today about is our beliefs. So if you've been following along, then you'll remember that we are this week working on mental health, and specifically on a concept called minimalism, which means getting rid of all the clutter in our houses, the clutter in our offices, the clutter in our environments that take up so much of our time, cleaning off, packing away, protecting from destructive children. And that's what I want to continue with today. So the topic for today is specifically beliefs. What is it that brought you to the point where you are today, surrounded by so many things that we don't necessarily use or need on a daily basis? That lamp in the corner that hasn't had a light bulb in for 3 years, why is it even there? That long runner mat that we all so fervently believe that we need to have a runner and a rug and a placemat and a special rug for this, and we've got all these little loose items cluttering up our space, demanding time that we could have been spending on doing something creative, cleaning it off, packing it away, and taking care of all of these things that aren't really adding true value to our lives. Now, I grew up in a family that was reasonably upper middle class, probably. So we had everything that we needed, and we had some luxuries. We had pets, we had the fish tanks, we had the big dining room table that could seat 12, and we were only a family of 4. We had 2 lounges, all of those excess things that we didn't really need. And I brought that into my adult life, even though what happened when I was around 12 years old, my dad got terminally ill, and because he could no longer work, he had to quit his job, and his medical expenses were tremendous. So we went from being this reasonably affluent family to a family who didn't have an income anymore, and who had to start getting rid of some of our clutter in order to survive. So in a way, my own journey towards minimalism, or towards just having in your life what you really, really need, started at that age already. But then what happened was that in my mind, I built the association that releasing stuff was a result of tragedy, or a result of difficult circumstances. So only now, much later, in my 30s going on 40, I'm realizing that my own attachment to stuff comes from a deep-seated belief that when we are surrounded by beautiful things, life is good. And when we release those things or give them up, it is because something in our life is sad or bad. That's where my belief comes from. So today I want to invite you to explore your own beliefs around your possessions. What led you to the point in your life where you started believing that having the 60-hour work week was a reflection of your success? What in your life brought you to the point where you believed that owning the luxury car, or living in the beach house mansion, or wearing the label brand named clothes was a symbol of your success as a human being? So as you now start your decluttering process and getting rid of some of the things in your house, also analyze your emotions when you pick that same thing up for the 3rd time and put it back and refuse to let it go. When in your life did you start believing that that thing that's so hard for you to let go of was so important? What is the association in your subconscious mind that brought about the attachment? For me, a big house was something that I valued. I don't really know why, because I didn't grow up in a particularly big house. I grew up in a reasonably standard middle-class house. So I'm not sure where my belief of the big house came from, and what that led me to do was upgrading and upgrading and upgrading and living in bigger and bigger and bigger houses until I lived in this mansion that echoed, and I walked for miles and miles just between my bedroom and the kitchen, and that house did not bring me joy. Like I explained to you in a previous session, I had the privilege of being in a position where we were forced to make a choice whether we were going to keep on holding on to our lifestyle or take up a new opportunity, move over to India with literally only the clothes on our backs. And that experience brought to me a new belief system, that I was not defined by my possessions. My happiness did not come from the size of my house, because in India we lived in it wasn't a small house, it was still a comfortable house, more or less the same size as the house that I'm living in now. But that house was falling apart. We had water streaming in the ceiling, there were rats in the house. It was, half the time we didn't have electricity. It was literally a danger zone because we had sparks flying out the wall on the right hand wall while water streamed in on the left, and we sort of walked on the couches so that we didn't have electricity and water mixing. It was a hazardous house. But approaching that with a certain amount of humor made me realize that our house did not define our happiness. The happiness was made up of the people that were in the house, the laughter we shared, the games we played together, the mistakes we made together, the risks we took, the tears we shed, and how we lifted each other up and bonded through our shared experiences. And by releasing so many of our physical, worldly possessions, leaving us literally with only each other to cling to, really deepened our relationship to a level beyond anything that I can put into words. It's something you have to experience. So today, that's why I want to invite you to really assess your belief systems, your programming. What brought you to the point where you now live in an environment that you've created, where your ideal and your definition of yourself, your very identity, is dependent on your car, your house, your book collection, your label clothes, and the beauty of the things and the value, the monetary things, the monetary value of the things that you've surrounded yourself with. So I would love to keep on hearing from you guys. Drop me some comments. I know that I've received some very, very personal, wonderful messages in my inbox on the My Soul Yoga Veda page. So I want to encourage you, keep on doing that. I love that you're reaching out, and I'm loving supporting you guys. And I know that this is hard, and I know that the emotional turmoil that comes with it can sometimes be very, very scary. But I want you to know that there's a bunch of people who can support you in this journey, and I would love to keep on supporting you on your journey. So reach out to us. You can also reach out to the Change Creator SA page and tell us about your journey. You know what? Your journey is the makings of an inspiration for somebody who might in 1 year, 2 years, 10 years be exactly where you are now. So keep carrying on with that exercise that I gave you a couple of lessons ago. Project yourself, your mind, into the future you of 5 or 10 years from now, looking back on present you and telling yourself that everything's going to be okay. Envision yourself 10 years from now and see that person. What has that person become? What has that person achieved? And was it achieved by physical material things, or was it achieved because of the journey that you so bravely embarked on in this last week? So Stanley's going to be back with some relationship advice. My bread is calling me in the oven, and I will catch you again tomorrow morning on Oh My Soul when we do our yoga session. Thank you for joining me.